Yeah, I've been seeing they've been putting it in the news more. They're letting people know that they're doing the chemtrails as solar radiation management. Even though they've denied chemtrails for so many years, now they're saying like, "Oh yeah, we're spraying chemicals in the sky and it only costs billions of dollars a year, but we need to do it to stop the sun from heating up the earth." And people actually believe it, even though climate change is just a man-made thing. I mean, I've said it before that CO2 is actually a good thing. The plants love the CO2. The more CO2 there is, the more the oxygen the plants can make. And in the ice records, they found that when there were high levels of CO2, there were high levels of oxygen. And then if you look at Mud Fossil University on YouTube, that might be something you're interested in, Debbie, if you're looking around on YouTube. It's something that Bob Staling from the Sandy Bob Show, he talks about that. And I looked at their channel a little bit. They have like 80,000 subscribers. It's a pretty big channel, and they talk about how, if you've seen that There Are No Real Forests video on Kelsey's channel. So it's kind of going into how the real history of the Earth, where most of the mountains of today, such as Everest, Kilimanjaro, and all the big mountains, in the video There Are No Real Forests, they talk about how they're all tree stumps from giant trees that were up to 6 to 10 kilometers tall. And on the Mud Fossil University page, they talk about how they're not just tree stumps, but they're also body parts of giants or dragons and fish and enormous creatures like this. And this is way back before the reptilians came and mined the planet. These things were around. So yeah, and obviously when the trees were that big, there had to be huge amounts of carbon in the atmosphere for the trees to be able to take take in the carbon, because that's their main fuel source from above ground. And then of course they were putting out huge amounts of oxygen for all the mammals on the planet, and so all the air breathing animals. So it's a pretty interesting view. And then back to now, or up to now, where the natural environment has been completely decimated in the last couple of 100 years, and somehow people are agreeing that these things like chemtrails and HAARP are necessary because of man-made climate change. So people are really, really dumbed down, and people, the masses, they still think that these fires are a coincidence, all around the world. And it's like Dwayne said, that a lot of them started when we put up our Turf Club website a few months ago, about 4 or 5 months ago. That's when the Brazil fires started, and here in the North America, Siberia, Greenland, these like Arctic places have been on fire, and now Australia is really bad down there, and Africa's been on fire, South America, everywhere has been on fire since we put up that website. And so it's like you mentioned, Olga. Yeah, they're doing this. The world control is because we're here, and it's very real because we have the real cure for all. It's their real awareness. It's everybody's real awareness. It's already there. They just got to learn to recognize it, and we all do, and it's a process, and we can do it together and have a real adventure. So it's really, really cool how it is. But yeah, the world controllers, they don't want that, because they want people to keep reincarnating and everything like that, which we already know. And so, yeah, we will become more known. It's just the way it is, because a lot of people, they're not interested in sound good ideas. They want They want something real, and that's what we are. That's what we is. So yeah, it might sound like a cult to your family, Divvy, and yeah, the same goes for most of us. Our family and friends think that because there's this group of people and they're talking about what is real, you know, and whatever their ideas are. So yeah, it's understandable, but really everybody else, they're in the death cult of the world controllers, and we're just these wonderful real beings letting people know what's really going on, and that scares people. And then when we have something to say like, well, you can get your own answers and not be the effect of everything anymore, that scares people because they're actually attached to their comfort ideas that are actually destroying the natural environment and everything that they came here to experience and become aware of. So yeah, that's your challenge, Debbie, is to share what makes sense with them or somehow relate to them. But you can be funny with it too. When they say that you're in a cult or something, you could say things like, I don't know, like, "Oh, really? Am I?" Like, I don't know. Dwayne would say something funny, like, yeah.
I
So
want to ask him what's the name of the cult I'm in. Yeah, it's been a bit tough, with my family being like that. But I don't know. I'll, I'll get over it. But yeah, my daughter thought I was giving money to a cult and things like this, and I said no, I'm not giving money to anybody. And yeah, I don't know if I'm invited for Christmas anymore either.
yeah, it just sounds like a boring taplining routine. What do you do at Christmas? I mean, it's fun to talk to people. I like to talk to people, but yeah, it's a funny idea, the whole Christmas thing. It's very funny. It's very controlled, the whole thing. They want you to spend money and on stuff you don't need and celebrate some guy who was supposedly born when he wasn't even born, if he was ever born, in December. And yeah, but I don't know. Do you want to go, Divvy? I mean, what do you do with your family on Christmas?
I could. If I don't, I don't. If I go, if I'll go if they invite me. But I've never really believed in. I was brought up Catholic, but for a very, very long time, I didn't really believe a lot of what the Catholic Church taught. But I wouldn't mind just getting together with the family. But it's more of a family. I look at Christmas more of a family get together more than a religious celebration. It's not for me. Yeah, it's not a religious celebration, and so I'll wait and see. I do have a Christmas tree though, but I can't throw that out. I think I just will put it up anyway, just because it looks pretty. I can't throw it out. It'd be just a waste, creating more landfill. Um, and my grandchildren probably still would like to see a Christmas tree, but it's not a religious thing for me. It's just more of a decoration.
Oh yeah, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. It's all cool. I liked Christmas. Yeah, I like seeing people and talking to people, like I said, and hearing their experiences. I'd always talk to the older people, like my uncles and aunties or older family friends, and hear their stories and things. It was interesting. Certain people that had traveled places or whatnot. It was always a big a big event with 50 plus people on my dad's side of the family, but yeah, I mean, it's all cool. Yeah, you just decide, and you can sing New you all the way. New you.
Oh, that's very good. That's very funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a Christmas tree, but Dwayne said that his former girlfriend would put one up, and he was fine with it. He said sure. So yeah, it's all cool. It's funny stuff, but it's like your birthday. It's kind of fun to give yourself a treat or something. So yeah, I did want to say though that Olga, with your office, it does sound like they're putting out 5G around you from what you said, but another thing that you could look into is building yourself a Russian PVC pyramid. They harmonize everything, all the scalar energy, and everything is made up of scalar energy here in the physical level, and so it'll harmonize all that. They're built with the angle that the Russians found was the most harmonic or most in tune or beneficial for the natural environment. And if you go to, I'll put the website link in here that Kelsey made. She put together a cool website about the Russian pyramids, and there's like short little videos about all the things that they can do, such as they helped with prisoners' behavior, and they brought up groundwater from the ground to create new springs. Extinct species of plants came back. People's diabetes went away. They purified the ozone in the air, purified contaminated groundwater. They helped people with their thyroid function, obesity, diabetes. And seeds stored in there would produce up to 400% yield. They didn't need pesticides or anything. They were drought resistant, and I mean, there's just all sorts of cool things. So the field that it creates depends on the size. So yeah, you can make one for about $30. They're pretty easy to make. You just got to make sure you have the right angles. But I'll put a link in here for how to make one if you're interested. There's a good video for a guy that explains how they work. So yeah, I actually have my tensor ring sitting on top of it, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, they can definitely get the energy flowing in your body. So yeah, we have to deal with this place here, and it's a challenge.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been looking into the tensor rings, and they're reasonably easy. I mean, the materials are reasonably easy to get. I just went down to the metal trash guys and got myself some copper. Of course, you've got to learn how to twist it, because it's not just copper. It's a definite twist to the copper and how it's done, and the top end has to actually meet on itself again, so the energy has to go through that same length of wire, so you get two pieces and you twist them. But I'm really enjoying learning about it as well. But it does exactly the same as what you mentioned with the Russian pyramids. So, it's doing the same work, clearing the air, clearing the energies, the ley lines. And I know when I moved into the shop, it wasn't like that. It's just starting to come on more and more. So it's definitely, I believe it's, the 5G in the local area that's kind of wiping me out. It's pretty heavy, because I just feel like I just need to sleep all the time. And it's really, really hard to, feel my energy, because I know I've always, unless there's something wrong, I always have quite high energy. And I've been sort of, taking notice of what's been going on. And then, but by the time I get home, which is about a 10-15 minute drive, I'm fine. My energy's back. So they haven't put the 5G out in this area yet. So definitely must be around the city area. But yeah, I'm finding it really, really exciting learning about these tensor rings. And it's just a little bit of education. It's not super heavy stuff to learn. It's just a little bit of interest and really good education. And anyone can make them, really, but you've got to do your due diligence, just like with anything, I guess, and match up all the T's and dot all your I's, and you can have clean energy all around your house. And some of the tools that I'm learning about, I mean, they'll clear the energy for 50 Ks, which is a huge area. So I thought, I could put them all around Rockhampton, actually. Put them up on the mountain, put them all over the place. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, because it's just gives me an interest, gives me a hobby. I'm relaxed, and it's exciting to know that you can make something that's really valuable, not just to yourself, but to your community as well. And it also helps the plants and the animals like it. It actually can bring back water as well. And that was that last show that Tim did was really interesting. I think it may have been Sandy that said, these controllers are manipulating the weather, but it is our weather and we can control it too. So I'd take that on board, that this is our weather and we can take our control back, We don't have to live under their manipulation. So, yeah. So if that's a cult, well, it's a pretty free one, So we have a lot of freedom to learn and do what we feel is right, not just for ourselves, but for our environment, for the community, and for the planet, which is really where our focus is. And people will wake up, slowly and surely in their right time.
Yeah, that's cool what you said about the tensor rings. I didn't realize that you could make one. It looks like a lot of physical twisting of copper. The one I have, I bought it, but yeah, that's really cool. How they can do a big area. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, just a small item can affect such a huge area with such positive energy. And because copper holds energy, when you twist the copper, you have to have, the good intentions. So when I'm twisting the copper, which I'm just learning it, that was the first thing I did, was learning how to do the twists. And I'm singing New You, inside myself, just singing the New You, and that song's going inside while I'm trying to twist the copper, because that energy goes into the copper. And when you make the copper ring, that's the electricity, because, they use copper for electricity in your homes and things like that. So that's the electricity that comes in the rings. So when you twist it, now it works with there's this cubit, if you know what a cubit is. So a cubit measure is 20.6 inches, and that harmonizes with the resonance. So it's a sound resonance, and that sound resonance at that length is the personal one. So it's for your body resonance. So that helps with all the healing in your body. And you can, with that length, you can double it, you can triple it, but you can also reduce it as well. So you can go half and then down to a third. So you can have rings those sizes, right? And when you twist the copper, you just get the length of the copper you need, say about 30 inches. You've got to have a bit of, excess on each end. So 30 inches, and then you bend that over. So it's got to be one continuous wire. So you bend that in half without breaking the loop, and then at the end of each end of it, not the loop, but at each end, you just bend them over and you put those bits into your drill. And the loop bit, you just use like either a nail, you can hook it onto a nail, or just a horseshoe, what do you call them, staple into a piece of wood. Just put your wire through there, hook it over, put it in your drill, and zoop, just twist it like that. So it's really easy. But I found all that and learnt all that on YouTube, and now obviously I've bought the book and I'm reading up on it, because I just feel, you know, I bought a heap of copper from the scrap metal people, and it cost me like $10, so I could learn how to twist the copper, and I could learn things, and it's, you know, it's not expensive if you make mistakes, because you got to make mistakes to be able to learn it. And any scrap that you have left over, just put it into, you know, your bowl or your bucket. Next time you get into the scrap metal people, they'll weigh it up and take that amount off the next bit that you buy. So it's pretty cool, you know. It's recycling, but yeah, the effects, and there's different harmonic resonance, so different lengths work for different harmonic resonance. So if you are making something for the environment around you, which will go out 50 k's, there's a different harmonic resonance. So I'm not at that yet. So we got a new friend online.
Yeah, that's Grayson from Nigeria. He's been around a long time, but he just messaged one of the groups today saying he was back. I guess he was offline for a little while, but I just wanted to comment before we go to Grayson here that, yeah, that's it's really important what you said about your intent and what you're putting into it while you're creating these things, because yeah, that's what they emit. It's like with the Russian pyramid, and I guess my tensor ring here too. I say that they're like portals for your intent. And so what I do on the Russian pyramids is I write new you on them, so they're like always emitting that new energy through this physical realm and the others too, in creation, and it's really, really cool.